Hey everyone, welcome back to another brand new episode of the Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we go through the entire movie The Last Jedi 1 minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
And I'm Jackie Kashian. I'm their guest, and I'm a stand-up comic, and you can go to JackieKashian.com or listen to my podcast, The Dork Forest.
Welcome back, Jackie. I don't feel like it's been probably since Empire since we had you on, it looks like.
Yeah, it was quite some time ago. It was, I think, it was either Empire or Return of the Jedi. And,
right.
Yeah, that would have been 7,000 movies to go. So good work, guys, keeping it going.
Oh, yes, this horse is not quite dead yet. We're going to keep beating away at him. Well, thanks for coming back for the Empire Strikes Back of the sequel trilogy. So that's kind of a nice little ring theory.
Right. Nice
it's
work.
Like poetry, it rhymes.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're talking about minute 11, which starts off with Paige Tico reaching the top of the ladder. And it ends a minute later, it ends with Paige reaching out for the clicker.
And being thwarted by the glass ceiling.
Yeah.
I went with the corporate ladder. And I was riffing, you guys. All right,
No,
go.
that was good. We're not used to having professional comedians, huh? So we're a little.
Well, strap in.
So I looked up Paige Tico in the Wikipedia.
Sure.
And it's a classic example of whenever they come up with backstories for Star Wars characters, because Paige Tico wanted more than anything to go. She loved fantheres and wanted to see fantheres more than anything, which you'll recall later on. Rose goes to freeze a bunch of fantheres from
right.
captivity. And
Fathier. You're saying it like Zamfir, the master of the pan flute, but I think it's Fathier.
Is that really true?
Yeah.
I've never heard it pronounced. Not that I remember anyway.
Do you guys ever get parkour and ponfar mixed up? I do, all the time.
The worst is when you get it mixed
Not
up
the way
in the
I
middle
do
of
it.
Yeah.
By the way, this is the only place that joke works. Okay, so.
So how do you say it? Ponfier?
Fathier.
Fathier. Thumbs down on that one. Well. But anyway, apparently Paige, that was her big goal in life, was to see them. Right. So it's one of those classic examples. Yeah, whatever you see in the movie, that's pretty much encapsulates their entire personality. She loves her sister. She loves fantheres.
And that's it. That's been the fanciers. Yes.
Fanta. She loves Fanta.
Orange Fanta.
Her dream was to be one of the Fantanas, but sadly. Yeah, it's based on, I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but what we see of her character, you know, she's, she mainly is, you know, she's a bomber or a bomber's assistant. She was a gunner, I guess, in the bomber thing, and then
assistant to the bomber,
right? Assistant to the regional bomber. She has that medallion, and when we don't know. You know, that represents her connection with her sister yet. So it's like, when I mean, I guess this goes, this is in this episode where she, you know, basically is trying to get the controller and it's not working. And then she just grabs the medallion for a second and kind of, it gives her the strength to do it. And without knowing that that's her connection to her sister, it almost seems like, oh, well, is that a force thing or is this some kind of magic? Like we don't know what, how did she do that? And it turns out later, we'll find out that it's just, she was just, you know.
She wasn't even trained.
Exactly.
You guys have really put a lot more thought into this. I thought she was pretty cool.
She is.
And my favorite part of this 1 minute was literally her finally, you know, it was weird that she catches, you know, she's kicking the thing, she's trying to get it to fall, right? Mm-hmm. This is the minute that we're discussing.
Yeah. Yes.
And it falls, and she catches it with her other hand. Like, she has to roll over and catch it. I don't know if you saw, there's a continuity issue. I mean, I'm not saying that she isn't parkour. I'm just saying that that was pretty amazing. Right. And since she got laid. Yeah. And PG-13. Anyway, but the scoop is that that was really cool, and I really liked, it made me think, going through it 1 minute at a time always makes me think about the minutia and that sort of acting choice she took when she knows she's about to get engulfed in flames and die, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I did love the acceptance of her just closing her eyes, going, well, it's been a good run.
It'd be nice to think that we could all face death. So
exactly,
I'm sure if it was me, I'd be like,
I was like, maybe I could do something.
Wetting myself.
No, she knew that she couldn't do anything, and I think that it's there's some relief in that in death, knowing that you can't do anything. So that was, but I thought that was cool.
It does seem like the resistance propaganda version of her death. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Let's come up with a story where she kicked the thing down as opposed to the ship. She was already dead and the ship just blew up by itself.
Right. The bomb, once the ship started to take on damage, the bomb hatch opened accidentally. But this is the official story. This is
right. This is in when they make the holovid.
Right.
Yeah.
This is
people will sing the song of this.
They will sing the song. Who will play her?
I'm picturing like a grade school presentation of the heroism of Paige Tico.
I'm picturing someone taller playing her. No, I have no idea.
No, I like picturing more, they're all like a Thanksgiving play where they're all wearing like construction paper imperial hats and
yeah.
things like
the pilgrims. I see.
Exactly.
Yeah. Going down in lore.
Here's something I found kind of interesting.
Sure.
In the original version of the script, the bomber was also supposed to have our friend Finn on the bomber. And when Paige died, she was gonna put her bloody hand on Finn's chest, and that was gonna be kind of like evoking the other thing. So, but they said they could never quite get it to work, whatever that means.
It's admirable of them to try, since it is Star Wars. So you're just like, no, that actually didn't work. But no one suspends their disbelief more than I do when watching Star Wars. I'm like, I'm on board, whatever it is, go for it. And
it doesn't. You don't have to pick at it that much. You can just kind of roll with it. That's
sure.
Granted, we have to pick at it quite a bit.
It's
That's the premise of the show.
Right. Not to take it apart, just to look at it, and then we'll put it back together when we're done.
Right.
Hopefully we don't have any pieces left over. Well, we do. I want to talk about the controller for a second, because I was trying to figure out.
That's his nickname for me. The controller.
Oh, you mean the clicker?
Yeah, the clicker. Exactly.
Okay.
It looks. It fits the aesthetic. There's a certain this thing that was largely intentional, that trying to capture that, the aesthetic of the original Star Wars was sci-fi but made in the 70s and had a little bit of that kind of lived in, like, based on current technology but accelerated.
Right.
And I think in trying to recapture that, they went with some. We saw, I think last week, there's the control panel that BB-8 has to smash with his head that has a lot of like old resistors, and it looks like you took apart an old Philco or something. But the controller totally has that same kind of vibe, same kind of feel. It feels. I was trying to look it up to see if is this the kind of thing. Remember, Qui-Gon had a lady's razor. Is this the kind of thing where it was like they took something recognizable? It looked very familiar. I was trying to figure out. It looks almost like a handheld Coleco football from like the 70s, or like
head-to-head football. I remember that.
Yeah. So one of those kind of things. And I was trying to see if anybody had kind of pinned it down and found exactly what it was, but I wasn't able to find anything. It looks very. Like, you could even see the parts where those, like, Phillips head screws go in on the back and stuff. I was like, that's very physical and very much...
It feels like original Star Wars vibe to it, where, you can tell that they're just, what is that? Can I borrow that from underneath the sink, And that's going to become a ray gun, or it's going to become the MacGuffin, or it's going to be, So I like that. I like it in all Star Wars that they tend to. It has this sort of junky vibe to it.
Yeah.
Where everything's super clean on the Empire side, but it's all tech that we don't have. So it's a galaxy long time ago, but it's all future tech. So it's kind of
nice
awesome.
Blend. It really straddles that line between seeming tied to a period. Like if it was done like in, I guess they kind of did that with when they redesigned the stormtroopers and stuff. That stuff all looks much more
Yeah,
I guess at
they
this point,
went
early
21st
2000s,
century.
because
Yeah,
it was like an iPod. That was the only kind of changes they've done. It looks like a garage door opener to me, like a old school
like
garage door opener.
yeah. It very much has the original. I don't know if you guys ever had VCRs with the wires.
Oh yeah.
But it had that business. It had that vibe to it too. The first TV kind of clickers.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, why would they have a remote control for the bomber for dropping the bombs? It seems kind of weird. Like.
Yeah,
there would be something like, what I do with the clicker? He's looking at the cushions. We got to drop the bomb. Like,
right. I mean, it was either they either had to have a device that could be dropped or lost, or they had to have a countdown that they would have to keep switching over to a digital clock.
Yeah, or her crawling over to the panel where it was.
So they're like,
something like that.
Point.
Yeah.
Got your nose. And but yeah, it's for sure. I think I wonder, creating a third device might not be a bad idea. You know, like if it's going to be either a digital clock or a clicker. What
like
else?
An hourglass. They should really go retro with it. You have until that turns over.
Like the Wicked Witch.
Yes.
Exactly. Would it be like and again, maybe this was, I'd like to go see the version with Finn in it to see if, presumably Finn survived this, whereas nobody does really here. Mm-hmm. Do you think it's the kind of thing where it's like the hatch was jammed, so she had to open it manually and she fell out with the bombs? Like, is that a...
I like that idea.
It's like a bunch of bombs and a but picture it in a Rian Johnson kind of, the way that, this does a great job of the actual kind of bombs away moment. Well, we'll get, they won't say bombs away yet. We'll get that tomorrow. But the actual moment where she's doing it and it's, everything goes quiet for a little. Well, we hear the score, but we don't hear the dialogue or the sounds really. Yeah. It's just score, and we see Poe says, I was trying to read his lips. He either says "go" or "now" or something like that, or maybe he's just saying Poe. Maybe he's like a Teletubby or something. But Pokemon.
That's how he got his name.
Yeah.
That's how he got his name.
Poe.
I am glad that he doesn't scream at the sky like Wolverine. That has always been something that's pleased me.
And Captain Kennedy is saying fire. That was easy to read his lips. And so we get that quiet moment. Now picture this same kind of a thing, but where Paige had to go open the hatch manually. And so it's quiet. There's just score, and she's floating in space with the bombs in kind of slow motion.
Oh, I pictured it more like a Dr. Strangelove type thing.
Right.
She rode the bomb down onto the...
Right. But she's, the same way she lies down and closes her eyes and relaxes here, she would be doing the same thing with that. Maybe it's a little bit of both. She's riding the bomb down and just kind of closes her eyes and lets go while she's riding it down.
You're thinking more of an Alien 3 type ending. Like
there you go. Let's go watch Alien 3. No. We'll stick with this.
Let's start over.
Right. Start watching those movies.
Yeah, along the lines of what Jackie said, like it does seem like weird. I feel like Rian Johnson does a little bit of cheating. Because when she's laying there on the thing and you see that clicker go by, there's no way she could have caught it. Like her body does not move at all. And then you see a hand. I remember when I first saw it thinking like, oh, is there was going to be someone else. Like it was going to be Luke or something, like somebody coming in to save the day. But it was just her third arm.
Or catching it using the Force or, her third eye.
I mean, they've done that trick before when Ray caught the lightsaber that you thought that Finn was going to catch in the last movie, so it seemed along those lines, but nope.
Yeah, the physicality of it just seemed a little weird.
Here's some more Paige Tico trivia. After the death of Paige, Rose developed, she got into engineering, and she developed a bomb that she called, and she named it a pager. Like, let's drop a bunch of pagers on them. And I'm not sure if that is it a good tribute to have your name on a bomb? Like, is that like a...
Right, that's very revenge fantasy.
Well, she was a bomber,
sister.
so maybe she was super into it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if it's her sister, that was like, if your sister was a bomber, then I guess that's maybe naming a bomb after her is the way to go. Like you wouldn't.
Yeah,
be...
your sister's a bomber.
It's weird though, because I always think about people who go into the service and end up being like a bomber or something like that. I was like, is that what you wanted to be?
Right.
And they're like, no, that was the job. And I wonder if that's how it is in the rebellion. It's like, oh, we need something that more people to, run the bomb squad or whatever. So get over there.
Yeah, you would think that would be the case because it's a small group. It's not like they can put out applications all over the galaxy. And
it's like football in the 50s. You have to play offense and defense.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
I just want to catch up the Zoomers and all those other people. A clicker is like a remote control, and we just said something else that was
50s football.
Dated.
That they wouldn't know.
People still know what
VCR was like a
clickers
DVR,
are.
but like with tape. There was something else that just came up that I was like, wait, kids aren't going to know what that is.
Like resistors.
What? The Pointer Sisters?
Resistors?
No.
Or
I thought you were just like sisters. You people are all only children, aren't you, out there?
Right.
What's happening? It's
Who can afford to have more than one kid these days? It's crazy.
Exactly. In this economy. I did want to give another shout out because I believe he explodes here, but we mentioned last week the pilot Finch Dallow. And that's a good name.
Dallow.
Finch Dallow.
Goodbye, funny man.
Leader of Cobalt Squadron. So, Finch Dallow of Cobalt Squadron, we hardly knew ye.
I'm going to invent a device that euthanizes people. I'm going to call it a Fincher in honor of him. So whenever someone
Going back to Alien 3 again, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Kids, Alien 3 was the third movie in a...
It's a prequel to Prometheus.
Right.
That, I think, was all I had for 11.
That's all I've got. What
my
else you
last
got,
thing
Alex?
is the medallion.
Right.
Two last things. The medallion is a Haitian ore medallion. Both Paige and Rose come from the planet Hayes Minor. Very exciting, which is in the Otomok system. And that thing is supposed to look like... I always thought it was supposed to be like a yin-yang, like Rose had a medallion that could click and they could fit together.
Oh, right, like best friend bracelet or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But apparently it's supposed to be a visual representation of what the Otomok system looks like. So we'll see what happens.
I literally thought it was... I remember when I saw it and I thought, is that the rebel symbol? Why does she like that so much? So I'm glad you've given me the backstory on that.
Oh, yes. Now
on that throwing star. So
yeah, it looks like Krull's,
the glaive.
Krull was a movie in the 80s.
It also looks like Moon Knight, like the things that Moon Knight throws.
Totally,
but which Moon Knight is a comic book. New movie, TV show might be coming out. Yeah.
Comic books were like a paper version of movies.
I was going to say it looked like Mac Tonight, so we'll...
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All those things are good.
Yeah.
Well, all right then. Jackie, do you remember the first time you saw The Last Jedi and your reaction to it?
I saw it. It's the weird thing about them is that they were coming out fast and furious, not like they're much like the Fast and Furious.
Different movies.
And I remember seeing it, and
do you remember where you saw it?
Oh, I would have seen it at my local, and because it wasn't in. I think the way I see movies is I see them in 2D, and then because then I'm like, would this be good in 3D? And so then the next time I see it, I might go look for it in 3D, and I think I saw this one in both. I saw this one in 2D, and then we went to down by the Chinese Theater in Los Angeles. There's an amazing 3D. And I've done it wrong. There's an amazing 3D theater, and then there's a weird rocking smell-o-vision version, which is, I don't recommend that at all. I'm trying to watch a movie over here. And the thing keeps rocking.
Shoot smoke at you and stuff. And
that's that. That
Honey, I
sense
Shrunk
around or whatever.
I Shrunk the Audience, from Disneyland. And, but it's too busy. So, but I did love it in 3D, because 3D... for the right movies, I'm so glad that they kept it up. So it was That was great. But what I like to see most of the Star Wars movies and some of the big blockbusters, I like to see them at my local because everybody brings their kids. And so there's a lot more shouting. There's a lot more, what?
So you like that.
I love that. I love that.
The good kind of shouting, where people are into it.
Yeah, and I'm going to see it at least 2 more times, so it's fun.
Right.
So it's like skimming a book and then rereading it. You're like, oh, I missed that part first time.
Yeah, totally. Or like watching a movie regular and then watching it 1 minute at a time. In very small, intense
Who
chunks.
would do that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Madman.
I think I've made, this is a little bit of a tangent, but I think I mentioned this before, that one of the, my friend of the show, Adam, and I, we went to go see 2001 in Times Square one day. Just we had time to kill before a concert that we were going to. And we're like, oh, it was a couple of hours. What's 2001 is there's a re-release of that, so we'll go see.
That's so weird.
You know,
3 hours to kill. Let's go see 2001 before we go
on.
to the concert.
Look who you're talking to. And
Pre-party, all right.
before we rock and roll, we got to get some Kubrick in there. And expect that kind of thing to be a very kind of low key, kind of like people just kind of
film students. Everyone's seen it before,
appreciating things, but not really getting into it. And there was kind of the two. There's like the dichotomy. The duality of man. I know that's the wrong Kubrick movie, but there's in front of us, there were the tourists who were just obviously also kind of like had time to kill, and the wife was playing solitaire on her phone the whole time.
Oh.
But then next to us, there were I think they were Japanese tourists. There were 2 kind of young women who were kind of sitting near us, and they were totally engaged the whole time, and then even there were moments where they gasped out loud, and I was like, "Oh, you're into this! Like you're discovering this!" And it was a great, it was a nice, beautiful print,
awesome.
and I think it was the IMAX theater or something like that. So I'm like, "Oh, like you're having the best time right now," and I'm so glad I was here for that.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
cool.
That's like seeing it at you want those moments where people are reacting and experiencing the movie and not like.
I like a full theater for a blockbuster.
Yeah.
It's private viewing. I don't know, a romantic comedy. I don't know what I want. But
Romantic comedy alone.
Alone for some reason. But that was the first thing that came to mind. But yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that'll wrap up minute 11. Jackie, thanks for being a guest on the program today.
Thank you. I had a lovely time.
And listeners, if you want to be on the show, you can call our number, 8-Day Greedo. Call it on your telephone. A telephone is a device you use to call numbers, and in this case, leave a message. Tell us about your Last Jedi experience. The first time you saw it, something funny you noticed, something funny that happened to you, a celebrity sighting you had maybe. And leave it there. And if it's worthy of us, maybe we'll use it on the show before the opening. So everyone do that. 8-Day Greedo, and join us tomorrow for another Star Wars Minute.